Hello, everyone, and welcome to Brain Blitz Audios. Today, we're here to talk about some career roadmaps. Now, it's a known thing that a lot of students have trouble choosing what they want to study in order to get a profession. So, we're here today to clear some of that um, doubts regarding what to take and what to study, especially in the STEM field. So that's the science and math studies, and we will be looking at how to pursue your dream job in the field of STEM if you're in India, especially. So let's start off with one of the main streams that people study during their school years. This is called physics, chemistry, and biology. Now, the streams we're talking about are especially relevant if you're done with grade 10 and you're getting into 11 and 12. So suppose you take a stream that says physics, chemistry, and biology. So you'll be learning the three sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology, commonly shortened to PCB. And this is usually taken by students who want to pursue medicine, who want to be a doctor. But that's not the only job opportunity that you have with this particular stream. So when it comes to PCB, there are other uh, degrees that you can pursue besides just medicine, which is shortened as MBBS. So the first and obvious one is MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, 5.5 years degree. You need to graduate grade 11 and 12 of the Indian system in the stream of PCB. Another also pretty popular choice is BDS, which is Bachelor of Dental Surgery. This is what most people use in order to try and gain a profession in dentistry. It's 5 years long, and again, you require 11 and 12 in PCB. Actually, everything here requires 11 and 12 in PCB. Other options include BAMS. This is regarding Ayurvedic medicine, so using Ayurveda to try and treat diseases instead of Western medicine. Another one is BSMS, which is Siddha. Siddha and Ayurveda are mostly similar. It's just that Siddha is mostly used in South India, while the rest of India uses Unani Ayurveda. Next, we have naturopathy and yogic sciences. Again, this is alternative medicine, one of the many alternative medicines that you can find around the world. BHMS, this is Bachelor of Homeopathic Medicine and Surgery. So especially if you want to pursue a degree in the homeopathic field and get a job in the homeopathic field, this is what you should be taking. BUMS is Bachelor of Unani Medicine and Surgery. For Ayurveda, Siddha, Naturopathy, Homeopathy, and Unani, for all of these degrees, it's 5.5 years, which is similar to the MBBS degree that you have, which is for Western medicine. So these are the available degrees that you can pursue when it comes to medicine, especially in India. Now, what are some of the career prospects you can think of? Well, first things that come to mind would be doctors, nurses, other health professionals. However, there are other things that you can pursue here. So obviously, you can go into the state or central civil medical service. You can take one of the study fields that you have, pharmacology, physics, biology, chemistry, and so on. And you can pursue higher studies in their respective fields, PhDs and so on. You can involve in technical writing. This involves writing reports for newses, journals, and others. You can pursue higher studies in management. So after getting your bachelor's in, say, medicine or something allied to it, you can choose management as your master's, and then you can enter into the management field with a background on health. Another really exciting field is the Indian civil services. If you want to write the civil services exam in India, you just need to have a bachelor's degree in your hand. It doesn't matter what degree it is. So any sort of degree that you have, you can still come in and join the Indian civil services, provided that you write their civil service examination. Then you have medical consultants in private hospitals. This is again an interesting field because here we're not actually treating people, we're actually acting as consultants for private hospitals. So, for example, what kind of equipment should we focus on? What kind of services we should provide? What are the safety angles, etc. Another field is research in medical or pharmacology. So, talking about the latest in medicine, new drugs, drugs against emerging diseases, and so on. Another field which is quite understated is medical policy making. So here we try and shape, policy, laws, rules, regulations related to medicine. So that requires a background in medicine. So, having an MBBS or a similar degree would help. Private hospital or clinic, again, something that a lot of people go for once they've done with their studies on medicine. Clinical research, this involves testing of drugs and other healing methods on humans and animals, although the latter is being phased out as we speak. Next, we have medical journalism. So this is basically, newspapers, magazines, and so on regarding medicine. So for that, you do need to have a background in medicine. So that's an exciting career prospect. Teaching is always a field that you can look forward to once you're done with any field of study. So you're done with a field of study, you can start teaching it. Medical equipment manufacturing. So this is where you have companies making X-ray machines, CT scanners, and so on. So they do require experts in the field of medicine in order to test out and design and also inform the decision making with regards to equipment manufacturing. Next, you have Indian Armed Forces. So any armed forces, of course, around the world would require a battalion of doctors in order to, look after diseases on the field and so on. Then you have medical tourism, which again, in certain countries like India, have a really high scope because of the cost-effective medical system that they have. Finally, there's always NGOs such as Doctors Without Borders, the Red Cross, etc. All of them would require medical professionals in various fields. So you can always choose that if you are humanitarian in nature and want to, pursue that. So those are some of the career prospects we have. We've highlighted these just to make sure that you don't have to get stuck in the pigeonhole of being a doctor. Of course, if you want to stay within medicine, then of course you can go to things such as dentistry, BDS, pathology, which is where you identify diseases, physiotherapy, where you have injuries and you try to rehabilitate people. Pharmacy is a good option where you can look at distribution of medicine and selling of medicines and so on. Nursing, as I said, is also something that's pretty common. However, there's also veterinary. So since a lot of people are not having kids anymore, they prefer to have pets instead. So that means there would be a higher demand for veterinary services as we move along. So those are the careers that you can pursue in terms of medicine, which of course means that you have to choose PCB. Now in India, as you can see, the NEET exam, that is the most important examination. In fact, it's the only examination that you need to take if you want to pursue a career in medicine in India, conducted by the National Testing Agency. It's called the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test. The purpose is to admit yourself to government colleges, private colleges, and deemed medical colleges, as well as the AFMC, which is the Armed Forces Medical College in India. So the NEET exam is particularly for Indians. It's conducted at the national level, so it's conducted across the country for undergraduates and postgraduates. The exam date is usually the first Sunday of May. The duration for this exam is 3 hours and 20 minutes, and it's an offline examination, which means you have to go to a center and then attempt it on pen and paper. Looking more about the exam, we can see that there are 4 subjects in here: physics, chemistry, botany, and zoology. Botany and zoology are basically divisions of biology. Botany is more towards plants. Zoology is more towards animals. Each subject, so we have 4 subjects in total. Each subject is divided into 2 sections in the exam. Section A contains 35 questions for each subject. Section B contains 15 questions, but you don't have to attempt all 15 of them. You just need to attempt 10 of them. So you need to attempt a total of 45 questions per subject. So you have 140 marks from Section A, 40 marks from Section B. You add that all up, you get around 720 marks in total for the exam. All of the questions are MCQs, multiple choice. Each question in the exam carries 4 marks. Important thing to note is that if your answer is incorrect, you would lose a mark for that question, and unanswered questions will not be marked. Now, once you're done with the NEET exam, you would get a national rank, and then you can attempt to get your placement in the over 1 lakh MBBS seats in 706 medical colleges across India, as per NMC data, which is the National Medical Council. 55,000 of these, medical seats are in government colleges. Now, all of these, of course, have quotas in them. There's All India quota, which is 15% across all colleges. And whenever you're done with the exam, you need to get counseled by a committee in order to let you know what are your options with regards to which seat to pursue, where to go, etc. So if you're qualified for the All India quota, you need to appear before the Medical Counseling Committee, or the MCC. This is also true for deemed college seats. Now, deemed college basically means these are private institutions that have ranks similar to a college or university. Now, these institutions also require MCC counseling. Another institution is central universities. So you have central universities across India that that teach medicine, and they also require MCC counseling. For state quotas, now that means that medical institutions in every state of India have 85% of their seats reserved to people in that state, and 15% of the seats reserved for All India quota. That's when you have the higher ranks in the NEET exam. Now, for every state, you have a state counseling committee. Then for NRIs, which is non-resident Indians, which are basically Indians who have Indian citizenship but are not living in India at the moment, they're in another country. Management basically means that every university has certain management, and some seats are reserved for people affiliated to the management. Now, for both of these, state counseling and MCC are used. Basically, depends on which university you're applying to or you're getting the seat quota for. Finally, for Armed Forces Medical College, they have their own separate counseling body, and that counseling body would ask you to come to their facility. The rest of them can be conducted online. Next, the NRI quota. It's something that a lot of Indian students would think about when they plan to go and study medicine. Now, important things to note is that the AIIMS, or the All India Institute of Medical Science in Delhi, there is information online that said 7 seats are under the NRI quota, but the fact is that they are reserved for foreign nationals, not Indians. So if you have an Indian citizenship, you won't be able to be, you're not eligible for these 7 seats. Similar seating structure was present in JIPMER, which is again an important medical institution in the Union Territory of Puducherry. Now, when we look at NRI quota in government colleges, you have states like Rajasthan, Haryana, Chandigarh, Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and Puducherry. So in all of these states and union territories, you have NRI quota in government colleges run by the central government or the state government. Now, in private colleges, there are some states in India like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Karnataka. Now, all of these have an NRI quota present in their private colleges. So if your parent is a domicile of these, say, states, then you are eligible for NRI quotas in private colleges. Now, there are other NRI quotas available, but these are the most important ones. And then depending on which university you get to, it's best to check with them to see what kind of quotas you're eligible for. Now, that concludes the medical aspect. Like if you want to pursue something related to medicine, paramedical aspects, things related to physics, chemistry, and biology, those are the avenues available to you in India. But what if you're more geared to engineering, something related to physics, chemistry, and mathematics? So if you're choosing physics, chemistry, and mathematics as your stream, so we've talked about physics, chemistry, and biology being a stream for students studying science. The other stream is physics, chemistry, mathematics. So where you get rid of biology instead of mathematics. So these are people who are more focused on trying to achieve engineering, to be an engineer, to try and get into eminent engineering institutions, and so on. So what are the career options available here? Let's look at available degrees first. Now, when it comes to physics, chemistry, mathematics, you have BTech, which is Bachelor of Technology. Again, there'd be a lot of specializations under BTech and BE, such as the various types of engineering. So when it comes to BTech, the duration of it is 4 years, and you need to study grades 11 and 12 in PCM. The stream would be PCM. A similar degree is Bachelor of Engineering. Again, 4 years and requires the same eligibility. A lot of people would be confused about whether BTech and BE mean the same thing. The fact of the matter is that BTech is based more on application. So, like if you're trying to work in the field, as a structural engineer and so on, that's where you need. So BTech would be something that's more applicable to you. If you're going on a BE, then that means you would be learning more theory when it comes to the engineering subjects. Next, you have BS, Bachelor of Science. Again, BS can be subdivided into many substreams based on what particular subject you'll be taking in. Again, a 4-year degree requires 11 and 12 in the PCM stream. Then there's BF Tech, or Bachelor of Fashion Technology. Again, this is particularly provided in the National Institute of Fashion Technology in India and also others around the world. So again, 4-year degree requires 11 and 12 in PCM. Now, when it comes to engineering, there is a possibility that you can do both your bachelor's and master's at the same time. It's called an integrated degree. It's available for BTech and MTech, so you can complete both of them together. It's called the Integrated Bachelor's and Master's of Technology. Instead of 4 years, it would be 5 years since you're doing 2 degrees at a time. And again, that requires 11 and 12 in PCM. The same is possible for Bachelor of Sciences. So if you're studying Bachelor of Science, if you want to study Bachelor of Sciences for something, say, chemistry or biochemistry or something like that, and then you want to do masters in the same subjects as well, then it's probably a good idea to get an integrated BS and MS. That would take 5 years, and it would only require you to have the same eligibility as going for a BTech or a BS by itself. There's also an option of concluding your BTech with a diploma. So if you're someone who hasn't studied grades 11 and 12, you're at grade 10 and you want to get a job quickly, then people go for diplomas. Then if you still want to get a degree after that, so then there's this option of getting a diploma and then a BTech. So it's called an integrated diploma and Bachelor of Technology. That takes 6 years because you're basically replacing grades 11 and 12 and then going for your bachelor's. So that's how that works. So it's a 6-year duration, and the requirement is you need to pass your grade 10th with at least 60% in all subjects, particularly physics, chemistry, and math, which would be science and math in grade 10. When we look at career prospects, when it comes to engineering, you have people studying engineering and then moving on to management or more technical fields. So high studies in management like MBAs and so on. People always also go for government engineering services if you're into something like civil, automobile, etc. But a whole lot of people, especially Indians, go for a technical company job. So IT firms like Google, Apple, Amazon, and so on. So you have a lot of Indians present working in them or working in firms affiliated to them. And most of them would be engineers. Then there's this specific option called banking. So, of course, people might think that banking is completely different from engineering, but the fact is that a lot of engineers would either do management and then go for banking, or do something on banking as their masters and then, get hired in other countries around the world. Again, since the Indian civil services don't require a degree in a specific field, you can complete your engineering and then go for the Indian civil services. That's fine. Armed forces also requires, especially if you're doing, aerospace engineering and stuff, you could be inducted into organizations such as the DRDO or ISRO, which deals into a lot of research for the army and for the space programs and so on. So armed forces would be a good career. Entrepreneurship is also something that a lot of people should look at, because Again, once you're done with engineering, you can do a short course on entrepreneurship and then kickstart an idea, and then make money out of that. Then again, people opt to go for the merchant navy. This is basically commercial vessels and so on. So that is also a prospect that people within the engineering stream can go for. Now, remember when we talked about the BTech, BE, BSc, etc., that there are multiple branches of engineering. It's said that there are over 240 branches of engineering, depending on how you specify it. We're here to look at some of the common ones that you can look at. First thing, we have computer, electrical, electronics, telecommunication. These are all related to IT, or more commonly, artificial intelligence. So you can get into this stream and then work in IT companies and in their hardware, software, etc. Next, you have mechanical, production, industrial, automobile. So this is where you work with machines, and especially true for automobiles. Production, firms that robots and stuff that are required for production, for oil drilling, etc. So this is another broad field of engineering that you can look at. Next would be civil, mining, geotechnical, environmental. This particular stream is where you are, constructing roads, digging mines, and making sure that health and safety is okay, and for constructing apparatuses for that, and so on. So this is mostly related to the government because, when it comes to civil infrastructure and also natural resources, they're mostly owned by nation states. Then you have chemical, biomolecular, metallurgy, petroleum. Petroleum again, going to oil rigs, working in the oil industry, and so on. Then there's also plastics and other chemicals which require chemical engineering degrees. Again, metallurgy is also a good option where you work with metals, and which is also quite significant to the nation's economy. Then you have aerospace, aeronautical, aviation. This is regarding planes, rockets, missiles, and so on. Then you have biotech, bioinformatics, and agricultural. So this is mostly associated with biology. So you would need to learn some biology in it as well. But then most of what you do would be to build stuff, which requires engineering. And finally, instrumentation IT. This again is particularly hyper-focused on robotics, AI, blockchain, the new technologies. So that's something that if you're something who has an eye on the future, if you're someone who has an eye on the future, this would be a very good option for you to choose. Now, when it comes to engineering, a lot of people would probably want to do their engineering abroad instead of in their home countries. A lot of people look to migrate to the US, UK, other Western nations, Canada, Australia, and so on. So if you're someone who would want to do that, then here are some requirements you need to keep in mind as you're in high school. So first of all, your school grades are most important. Keep trying to achieve a high academic benchmark. That's definitely going to help you out with your applications for college and for further studies. Especially for the UK, 90% of what your admission portfolio would be dependent on your grades, particularly your school grades. Then you have standardized tests, especially if you're trying to go to the US or UK, you need to do things like SAT, SATs, ACTs, PAT, MAT, SCEP. These are all things that you need to do if you're going abroad. But if you're still in India, then you can do JEE mains and advanced, and you can try and get an admission in India. And that's the only thing that you require for many of the colleges in India. You have something called DASA, which again is for students who are not in India but are of Indian origin, and so on. So and that's another important aspect of your academic benchmark, which is standardized tests. Especially if you're going to the US, UK, you need to do these tests in addition to your school grades in order to make sure that you have the perfect portfolio. Next, you have language proficiency tests, especially if you're going to Anglophone countries like, the US, UK, Canada, Australia. You would need to complete either the IELTS or the TOEFL in order to make sure that you can, because they require you to have a certain band score in order to make sure that you can communicate effectively with your professors, with your peers, etc. Now, if you're not choosing an Anglophone country, if you're going to somewhere like, say, Germany, France, etc., then the proficiency tests for French, German, etc. would apply to you. Next, you have essays or statement of purpose. Essays are for the US, where you write an essay based on a topic, and you need to submit that for your college applications. For UK, it's called a statement of purpose. So you write a statement intending on your purpose on why you chose this university and why you're studying here. Next, you have extracurricular activities. Again, because people today value soft skills and old jobs, extracurricular activities and records of having participated in them are important, especially if you're in the US. So, if you're in debating, chess, public speaking, sports. So all of these activities, if you're part of it, then that's well and great. You need to continue doing that because that would also form a significant part of your application. For the UK, particularly, you have community service as a part of the application, where you need to try and work in the community, doing service, giving back to the community. So that's something that they would look for in your application. Next, you have interviews. Of course, if you're applying for abroad, then they usually would interview. There's usually an interview process where they would interview potential candidates and see which of them would be ideal for their academic year. Next, you have work experience or letter of recommendation. So again, say you're going to the US or Canada, then you would probably need to supplement your income with an additional job. So having work experience in your application would be a good idea. Also, a letter of recommendation. This is usually for the UK. If someone is able to recommend you to go to a UK university, then that would help a lot. Finally, financial statements. Of course, the fact of the matter is that if you're going abroad, then you need to spend a lot of money. Especially US and UK, they have, the cost of getting educated in the US or UK is very high. So you would need to obviously give them your financial statements to see, so that they could see that they would be able to get paid, for having given you the education. But again, it's not just the cost of going into the university. If you're going abroad, then you're going to a different country. So obviously your food and accommodation costs would also get factored in here. Now let's look at engineering in India in detail, because it is a very interesting landscape across India. Because in India, you do not need to apply specifically to colleges because we have standardized tests. Firstly, we have the JEE, the Joint Entrance Examination. There are two exams, JEE Mains and JEE Advanced. As to when the two exams are conducted, JEE Mains occurs in January and April, so there are two times at which the exam is conducted. The mode of exam for both Mains and Advanced is online. So while you would go to a center, you are asked to do the exam on a computer. The paper is objective. So JEE Mains has one objective paper, while JEE Advanced would have two objective papers. The duration for JEE Mains is 3 hours in total, while for JEE Advanced, both papers would be 3 hours each. Now, some of the colleges that you can get in, if you write JEE Mains and you have cleared JEE Mains, then you can get into the NITs, which are the National Institute of Technology, triple ITs, the Indian Institute of Information Technology, centrally funded technical institutes, state-funded technical institutes are also colleges that accept JEE Mains scores. Then you have state colleges, especially in certain states. So it said that there are 12 state colleges that would accept your JEE Mains rank, and 28 private engineering colleges which would accept JEE Mains. When it comes to JEE Advanced, now again, a lot of people would have this doubt, but the fact of the matter is that you need to qualify for JEE Advanced after writing JEE Mains. So everyone who wants to write engineering and trying to get into IIT would write JEE Mains first. And depending on your rank, the top 250,000 students who wrote JEE Mains would qualify to write the JEE Advanced examination. So you need to write JEE Mains before writing Advanced, and you need to qualify for Advanced. So once you do, and you wrote JEE Advanced, and say you've cleared it, then you have the option of 23 IITs, the Indian Institutes of Technology, which are some of the most reputed institutions in the world. Then you have ICERS, IASER. Then you have IIPE, IISc, Institute of Science Technology, the RGIPT, the Rajiv Gandhi Institute for Petroleum Technology, and also the Indian Institute of Science, IISc, which, according to international ranks, is the most reputed institution in India. So that's if you want to stay in India, but also JEE Advanced helps you with applications to Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College in London, and also National University of Singapore, Nanyang Technological University. The fact of the matter here, though, is that if you're trying to use your JEE Advanced course to get admission abroad, then that's not the only thing that they would check. They would also check for other academic indicators like your school grades, your standardized tests, and so on. But having this in your kitty would be a great advantage because it's one of the toughest examinations in the world. Now, unlike NEET in India, the engineering field does not have one single test. So JEE, the mains and advanced of JEE is applicable to a lot of colleges, but then if you do not want to get into the hassle of the joint entrance examination, you can attempt other examinations. One of these is BITSAT. It's called the Birla Institute of Technology and Science Admission Test. And as you've guessed, it's conducted by the Birla Institute of Technology and Science. Now, they were originally from Pilani, Rajasthan. The eligibility for this particular exam is that a candidate should pass their grade 12, either in the PCM stream, which is physics, chemistry, math, or if you want to work in terms of biotech and others, then that would be PCB. Admissions would be given to integrated first degree programs. So you would study programs on engineering, biotechnology, etc. at the 3 campuses of BITS across India. The main one in Pilani, then there's a campus in Goa and a campus in Hyderabad. Of course, there are exam centers outside India for the BITSAT examination. One of them is the BITS Pilani campus in Dubai, and the other one is in Kathmandu, which is in Nepal. It's important to note that apart from physics, chemistry, and math, you would be tested on English as well as aptitude in the BITSAT examination. And the application link for this is bitsadmission.com. So since these are private institutions, they do accept applications on separate links. So this is the link for the BITSAT exam if you're interested. Next, we have the VITEEE. This is conducted by the Vellore Institute of Technology, or VIT. The mode of exam is a computer-based test for this one. In order to be eligible for it, a candidate must have passed grade 12 in either PCM or PCB streams. The syllabus for this would be your NCRT, which is the National Council for Education, Research, and Training. Now, you need to look at class 11 and 12 NCRT textbooks for physics, chemistry, mathematics, as well as English for this. Now, when it comes to your exam structure, you have physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, and aptitude modules. The admission would be provided for BTech programs at campuses of VIT. They have campuses in Vellore, Chennai, Amravati, and Bhopal. You have multiple exam centers outside India, such as in Dubai, Kuwait, Muscat, Qatar, Kuala Lumpur, etc. And the college link for this is vit.ac.in. Now, if you're someone who is looking into things like BITSAT, VITEEE, etc., then we have a lot of videos here on this channel on how to crack these exams. So we have a lot of previous year questions, sample questions being solved on this channel at Brainblitz Audio. So please don't forget to look into that. Moving on, we have the SRMJEE, conducted by the SRM Institute of Science and Technology. Again, for people who want to pursue engineering, a candidate must have passed grade 12 in either the PCM or PCB streams, and you need to study. Again, it's similar to VITEEE, so you need to study the NCRT-based syllabus for grade 11 and 12. The subjects include physics, chemistry, math, or biology, depending on which course you're aiming for, and English as well. And the exam structure is physics, chemistry, mathematics, aptitude, and English. So these are the sections you'll find in the examination. Admission again is for SRM's various campuses. They have campuses in Chennai, Ramapuram, Vadapalani, Amravati, etc. This exam is particularly interesting because unlike the others where you need to attend the exam centers, this one is conducted online, so you can take the exam from your home. However, the exam would be proctored remotely, so you would need to have the necessary infrastructure to do so, like computers, internet connections, and so on. Now, this is the application for it, applications.srmist.edu.in. That's if you want to study at SRM and attempt the SRMJEE exam. Now, these are some of many examinations in the terms of engineering. We have some others here listed below. MET is for the Manipal Institute of Technology. COMEDK-UJET, so that's COMEDK-UJET. That's for government and private colleges in Karnataka. AP/TS-EAM-CET, that's for government and private colleges in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. KIIT-EE, KITI is for the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology in Odisha. MHT-CET is for government and private colleges in Maharashtra. And finally, you have CAET, which is a test especially for students abroad in order to enter the IIT Delhi campus in Abu Dhabi. So again, these are some of the many exams in India. However, the ones we listed are the most important. So if you do like 2 or 3 of these exams, then you would basically have a very good shot at getting into one or more engineering institutions in India. Now, we looked at people pursuing math as in engineering, people pursuing biology as in medicine. However, when it comes to grade 10, there are some people who would find it difficult to choose between the two. So they are confused as to whether they want to lean towards engineering and the various associated jobs with it, or medicine and medical journalism and so on. So these are the things that these are some confusions that a student in grade 10, especially in the Indian system, would have whether to join PCM or PCB. So what a lot of these students would do is take both math and biology together. So this is called the PCMB stream. So here we would take physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology. So that leaves your options open. That's the basic strength for the syllabus. It is a lot to study. However, when it comes to PCMB students, they can qualify for careers requiring either PCM or PCB. So if you are someone who's passed grade 12 in the PCMB stream, then you're eligible to go to one of the many engineering entrance examinations in India. You can apply for engineering degrees abroad, or you can shift towards medicine and attempt NEET or other, medical NEET in India or other medical institutions abroad. So these are some of the degrees that we have here that PCMB students have an advantage on. So we have things like B Pharma, that's bachelor's in pharmacy, BSc or BTech in biotechnology, BSc or BTech in agriculture, BSc BTech in dairy technology, that's with regards to milk and milk products, BSc in forensic science, which is very helpful in policing and internal security and so on. Then you have biomedical engineering is also one of the many disciplines. So in all of these disciplines, applicants who have studied PCMB, physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics, are preferred or they are mandated. So basically, applicants would be asked that either you would, if you take PCMB, we would prefer you over other candidates, or some of these, like say biomedical engineering, would require PCMB, and other candidates would not be allowed to, study these. So if you take a PCMB, then you would need to study a lot, but the positive side is that you get to choose between the myriad of options. So basically, you delay the choice of what you want to study by another 2 years, and you study a whole lot of things that would help you in shifting to either engineering proper, medicine proper, or you can do things like pharmacy, biotechnology, forensic science, and so on. So these are basically some of the many career options that you have when it comes to the STEM fields, especially if you're taking physics, chemistry, biology, or mathematics in your high school. So we hope that this has cleared some, if not all, of the many doubts that you have lingering in your mind. Again, if you want to rewatch this video, then please do that. And also, if you want to um, attempt exams such as, say, NEET, BITSAT, or something, and or VITEEE, SRMJEE, and so on. And if you need materials regarding that, or if you need videos explaining questions regarding those, then please do subscribe to our channel, Brain Blitz Audios, because we have made an entire batches of content regarding these exams, how to solve questions that have appeared or are similar to the ones appearing in these exams. So if you are someone who is interested in something like that, then please don't forget to check out our channel, Brain Blitz Audios. So that's all for today. Until the next video, take care. Bye-bye for now.